How's it going, everybody? Gonna roll some Murders at Karlov Manor drafts today for one of our first videos up on the channel. Set just dropped yesterday. Have some pre-order tokens to do 2 drafts, 1 sealed event. So we'll see what kind of content we can put together. But yeah, looking forward to it. Did a paper pre-release this past weekend. Enjoyed the format so far. Did a little test run yesterday of a draft just to kind of get a feel for how it might play out on Arena. So yeah, let's jump into some games. Was really pleasantly surprised with how much removal was available throughout the draft. Like, it never felt lacking for removal. But then, on the flip side, it seemed like opponents always had access to removal as well. So, all right. So, looks like we have a lot of good Boros in the pack. But I'm really interested in this Case of the Stash Skeleton. 1 and a black creates a 2/1 black skeleton creature token. You suspect it, so you give it menace and it cannot block. To solve, the skeleton has to die. And then once it's solved, 1 and a black, you can sacrifice the Case and tutor up a card. So I'm going to snag that. Potentially puts us into Rakdos territory. We'll obviously stay open with black, but just looking at the rest of the pack here, Repeat Offender goes in the Rakdos deck. Torch the Witness is decent removal, scales well. Alright, so it looks like we have 2 rares left in the pack. With these play boosters, you do have the opportunity to get up to 4 rares, but most likely you're going to get 1, if not maybe two rares. To go with the Case, Snarling Gorehound is a good aggressive 1-drop if we do want to go the Suspect route. Harry Dronesmith was really solid. I liked that in the kind of test draft I did last night. And if we go Rakdos, I think that's great. We can get some artifact sacrifice synergies potentially, so we'll go with that. See if the Gorehound wheels. I like that 1 mana combat trick as well in black. So with the Slimy Dual Leech, I like that as well. I played against an opponent at pre-release who was running this, and it did some work. And I think with the Harry Dronesmith, you can stack the triggers such that you create the Thopter token first, and then you can choose to give it the +1/+0. So Makeshift Binding is also solid. Dramatic Accusation is solid as well. Okay, five color Niv is getting passed around the table. Agency Corner, solid pickup for the Rakdos Suspect deck. Inside Source also solid. Seeing some green here. No mono red in the pack. I'll just pick up the Agency Corner. Remember, Dual Leech can also trigger on the skeleton. I think we'll go Galvanize. We don't have any removal yet. Repeat Offenders, also an option in the 2-drop slot. I have a feeling we'll see a couple of these kind of moving around. I can't remember. It looks like it is common. Yeah, it is common. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Galvanize as our first piece of removal. Bishop of the Bloodstained. I believe, yeah, this is a list card. So in addition to the chance to open a couple rares in a pack, there's also a dedicated slot for like 30 something cards from the list, which are all previous sets. It's not good. It's a 5-mana 3/3. We're going to pick up the Vengeful Tracker here, I believe. 2/2 for 2. Incidental pings whenever an opponent sacrifices an artifact. In theory, clues, really, but other incidental sacrifice. Escape Tunnels, upgraded Evolving Wilds, pretty solid. I think we will go ahead and pick up the Snarling Gorehound, though. Yeah, we'll grab that. Okay, so we're almost at the wheel, and it looks like our colors are pretty open, so that's a good sign. Mill 2 cards. That's a little more of a black-green card. Slice from the Shadows is super solid. Gets around Indestructible, if there is any, cannot be countered, etc. Yeah, so here we go. Repeat Offender Wheels. We'll pick that up. Cool. So we have an option. We could either grab another Snarling Gorehound, or we could pick up this Toxin Analysis trick. Target creature gains Death Touch and Lifelink. We have some kind of big bodies, so it's good defensively, and we also are going to have Menace and Suspect, so we could potentially 2 for 1. We'll pick up the... What is this? It's like an Edict effect. It's not awesome. It's very, very situational. You kind of want to run it out early if opponent only has one decent creature on the board. Otherwise, they continue to... Oh, wow. A lot of good picks. Long Goodbye, solid removal. Soul Innervation, a little more of a Soul Tie card. Reckless Detective is pretty solid. I'm looking at that Shock, though. It's between Shock and this Long Goodbye. Just grab the Shock. There may be a game where we just need to go 2 to the face, Alright. What is this? Blood Spatter Analysis. When Blood Spatter Analysis enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Whenever one or more creatures die, mill a card and put a Bloodstain counter on it. Sacrifice it if it has 5 or more Bloodstain counters. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I'm interested in that. Harry Drunsmith, also super solid. Orangutan, alright. We don't really have a lot early on to ensure that triggers. Sacking one of our own artifacts to get the counters. So we have the Signpost, Runebrand Juggler, 2/2 for 2. When ETBs suspect up to 1 target creature you control. Later on, You can sacrifice a suspected creature. Target creature gets -5/-5. So that's 3 red and black to activate that. We could, if need be, sack our own suspected skeleton. We're going to have, a 1, hopefully another, probably pick up a second Snarling Gorehound for this deck. Yeah, we're just getting hooked up. Definitely in the right colors. Pretty open. So we have another Vengeful Tracker. Anzrak's Rampage for the rare destroys all artifacts, and then you get to exile from the top of your library, put a creature out with haste, and not quite what we want to be doing. I really like Person of Interest to suspect. It suspects itself on ETB, and then it also creates a 2/2. We also have a murder in the pack. Yeah, pack 2 is looking good for us. This Clandestine Meddler is really good for the Suspect deck. Alley Assailant, also a good disguised creature in black. The Meddler is a 3/2 for 2 and a black. When an ETB, suspect up to 1 other target creature you control. Whenever 1 or more suspected creatures you control attack, surveil 1. So you get a little bit of card selection there. We'll go ahead and pick that up. We need something in the 3-drop slot for sure. 2 inside sources. It's kind of interesting. You normally don't see 2 of the same card in a pack. We're just going to grab the Basilica Stalker. We can play it on turn 3 as a disguised creature. It's alright. 3/4 flyer. Go ahead and grab another one of those. What's up, Puff? It's almost lunchtime for Puff, so... just gonna grab this Braggart. Maybe won't play it. I think Presumed Dead. Do we want... I think we've seen enough Cerebral Confiscations kind of just floating around that if we really want one, yeah, we can pick it up. I'm gonna grab the 2-drop. So you want to suspect it because when it's dealt 3 or more damage, you investigate. So ideally, it's getting double blocked because it's suspected and has menace. I'll just grab this little guy. Probably won't make the deck. Sorry, sorry, rare. I'm probably gonna pick up the Automaton just so I have an artifact in case we need to sacrifice it for whatever reason. Maybe we pick up a orangutan or some other effect that needs to sacrifice something. So at this point, what do we need for our deck? I think we're fine on removal. Probably more cheap creatures. I would like to pick up one of these convenient targets. Another shock. Okay, so we are getting doubles in packs. Confirmed. Hunted Bone Brute is the rare in the pack. It's a 6/2 with menace. It creates 2 1/1 white dog creature tokens for your opponent, so it's kind of like giving your opponent the opportunity to just double block it and kill it. So I guess you need to disguise it. The idea is that you disguise it on turn 3. We'll grab it. I'm curious to play with it. Otherwise, we do have a shock. But the idea is you disguise it on turn 3, so it has entered the battlefield without that trigger to create the dogs. And then the next turn when you flip it, since it was already on the battlefield, opponent doesn't get the dogs. When it dies, each opponent loses 3 life, so I think my initial evaluation of that card was a little off, just not really processing the disguise. You wanna process it. I kind of am interested in this +3/+0 first strike trick. I know it's kind of expensive at 3 mana, but if we're playing, Suspect and Menace, we line up a bad double block for our opponent, and we rip one of those. It's a nice little blowout. So I'm gonna pick up the second Snarling Gorehound. I'm gonna grab Unscrupulous Agent is pretty solid. Murder is also very solid. I'm just going to grab the agent here. I mean, maybe we find... Oh, wow, okay. A second Hunted Bone Brute. We'll grab that. I think I am going to pick up this Murder now. Because I don't really want to run that Edict. Pick up a second Repeat Offender. This stuff is probably not going to matter, but I'm going to pick up the Snoop in case we want to disguise it. We'll pick up a second Innocent Bystander. I'm not going to run 3 Repeat Offenders, so I'll throw that on the board. And then we'll throw the Automaton into the board. Okay, so we were, definitely in the right colors. We were getting, picks served up to us left and right, so no issues there. Now we just need to make some cuts. I think I'll probably cut at least one of those. Do we really have artifact synergies? Or I guess a need to sacrifice an artifact. We're going to produce Thopters. I think we can probably cut the Automaton. Just gonna move our removal over to see what we're working with. We'll move the combat tricks over as well. Just essentially any non-creatures. So okay, so we're probably gonna cut some combat tricks here. So we have ways to suspect our repeat offender in addition to activating it to suspect it. We don't really want to be spending 3 mana to suspect it. We want to have it suspected incidentally, either by the meddler or the juggler or this convenient target. I think as much as this seems like it could be a huge blowout and you get the investigate tacked on the end, it's just 3 mana. You know, holding up 3 mana just to gotcha somebody is a little too risky, in my opinion. I think the toxin analysis is going to be awesome, and then presumed dead. I'm pretty fine with that. What's up, bud? Puff is getting hungry. All right, so we just need to make a decision on what to cut here. I'm thinking it's going to be either an offender or a bystander. I don't think I want 2 of each of those. I guess I also need to make a decision about this blood spatter analysis. I'm not sure if I want to keep that around. I didn't pick up any graveyard recursion spells. There's a really solid one that I think it's like 4 mana. Bring back 2 creatures to your hand, and it costs less, like if a specific amount of creatures died that turn, something like that. That would have been pretty solid. I don't know. I mean, this is just it's a grindy, aggressive deck. Like, I think the Hunted Bone Brutes are gonna go a long way. You know, we have the tutor, the case. So we're going to be milling cards, and then eventually we can sack it to return a target creature card from our graveyard or hand. We'll hang on to it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good on removal. I think we're good on other non-creature spells with our 2 or 3 pump spells. So let's see. I think it's probably going to be one of the bystanders. I'd like to see what we can pull off with the repeat offender. Just suspecting it by, you know, other means, and then pumping it up. I think that's a great mana sink. So the question is, do we want to keep around the Mask Maker? I think we have enough to do on turn 2 that we don't necessarily need to speed out a Bone Brute. Like, don't get me wrong, that is pretty wicked if you're, you know, swinging for 6 on like turn 3. But I think we'll cut him, just because if it's a late draw, it's not super great. Do I cut? Oh man, do I cut one of these tricks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. probably come down another creature. Do I just come down on one of these repeat offenders? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And then I kind of want to stick to 17 lands. I'm debating cutting this blood spatter analysis, but I do like the idea of potentially getting those 5 counters and getting a creature back from the yard. It's just a little bit awkward, like if we're on the play and the opponent doesn't have a creature out, and maybe we're in a spot where we don't have another 2-drop. Like I don't think that's gonna play out that way. So I think it would be a little bit later, played a little bit later in the curve. I mean, that's solid. I think the toxin analysis is solid, so like I'm inclined to probably cut the presumed dead. So we're at 16 and 8. Maybe cut another creature. Maybe cut this Basilica Stalker. The leech can target itself. That's a big body if we need to stabilize, provides some card advantage in the late game. 5/5 with Menace. Though you do have to wait a turn before that gets online, so like it could get removed. I might cut that, actually. I would rather have... Would I rather have a drain effect? Surveil 1. Yeah. I don't know. We can probably cut that, and then we'll see how the games play out. I think it's a little bit better to cut the 5-drop, that you could... The idea here is that we're probably going to want to disguise this. Won't always play out that way, but better to have a curve filler at 3 than a 5 mana creature that we might not be able to cast until much later when it's not that great. So yeah, I think that is the deck. Looks decent. Let's see where we ended up. 15 creatures, 8 non-creatures. I'm good on the mana distribution, 9/8 like that. So yeah, let's run it. Play the Gorehound. Juggler on 2. Keep that on top. Need to get to a land. So we'll unfortunately have to toss the murder in the graveyard. Okay. I mean, I would assume that they attacked because all my creatures have menace. Not that they have a board wipe or anything. So I guess they're not playing white, and they're two turns away from the black board wipe. So I think we're safe for now. Hell yeah. On to game 2. Tuna with bacon. I'll save it. If we draw land after, we can double spell on turn 4 with the 2/2 drops. I think I'll keep that on top, just in case. You never know. Just gonna get super aggressive. There we go. There's that 4th land. So it doesn't make much sense to attack with the Gorehound, so we'll go ahead and swing with these 2. I don't think we want that. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay. So that's 7. And then I'm going to remove their morph creature next turn. Do it like that. Deck's pretty straightforward, pretty aggressive, evasive. So, doing well so far. No 2 or 3 play, really. Unless we remove something. Gorehound in every opening hand is pretty great. I think we might want to hang on to that. Nice. Mana's a little awkward. Let's maybe go there. And then if we surveil... I just hate bidding a murder, but we need a land. Hopefully we get land, and then we can blood spatter analysis, and then we can disguise the brute. Opponent moves through combat. Looks like they've missed a land drop as well. Yep, there we go. Cool. So let's... I'm gonna go ahead and suspect the Death Leech. There's our 5th land. Okay. Opponent missing a bunch of lands. Widen that board presence. I think the opponent just doesn't have much they can do here. They might have a fanatical strength, in which case I think I want to hang on to my juggler and just block the 1/1. All right, 3-0. Raking in that gold. Love it. That old standby. So opponent might have removal here, in which case I think we want to toss out the bystander first. Yeah, I'm okay with losing that. We'll keep that on top. Puff wants in. How much does this cast cost? Yeah, 1 and a black. It's pretty awkward. I think we need a black source, unfortunately, so I'm gonna bin that. Transmith is good. No blocks. I would like to keep my Bone Brute. Yeah, this feels bad. I kind of think maybe we don't disguise just yet and play out the person of interest. Let's go ahead and swing. We'll keep that on top. That is what we want. I am more than happy to trade with your face down disguise creature when you have no mana to flip it. Yeah, okay. It's a Hellion. I wonder if we want to flip here or if we just want to play out the agency corner and see what they do with their turn. I think I'm going to hold off for a second. I'm going to just play out the corner. That's what seemed pretty interesting about this Rakdos deck is although it is very aggressive with its suspecting and evasion, it has some tools to kind of grind in the mid to late game. Okay, so they left up 4 mana. That'll be really good, actually. We'll keep that on top. I think in that case, because I want to save my coroner activation on the person of interest when I can draw an additional card next turn to deal 5 to the leech. So I think what I'll do in this case is we'll play the Case of the Stash Skeleton. See what they do. Okay. Hurts you more than it hurts me. Alright, so I think we for sure flip here. And then let's go boom, boom, boom. Kind of worked out exactly how we wanted it. Okay, so they're going to deal 3 to my tracker. Yeah. I'll take the final 2. I'm going to go ahead and surveil. We can do that at instant speed, so we will hold up the mana for now. Yeah, we're gonna keep swinging until they decide to kill it. Let's go ahead and hard cast the Basilica Stalker. Okay. So, what do we get? I guess we get the, I guess we maybe get the other Bone Brute. That's 6. So maybe take 6 for now. Alternatively, I guess we could get a shock. It's 3 here. I mean, let's maybe activate here. Go to combat, attack, see if they respond. So now we have to play that out to block. Do not need another land. Okay. Yeah, it's a tough spot. Nope, it's not gonna do it. Is there any way we could deal 4? If we had just like a straight burn of some sort, I don't think we're gonna get there. No, I don't think there's any world where we get out of this. Oh well. GG's. It was close. Could have potentially played that out a little bit differently with the case tutoring the bone thingamajig, the bone brute. Who's to say? Leave a comment. I'll play it back 10, 15 times and think about it. All right, moving on. 3-1. Close game, close loss. Mirror matchup. I mean, this is, you love to see it. Sure. I think we'll just sit back. I would rather kind of orchestrate some sort of play where we can get the investigate trigger off of the bystander. Or that. Let's get something good off this surveil. take that. Pretty solid. First strike, double strike. Don't think we're gonna get around that. We need a murder. Thankfully, we're getting rid of all these lands. Can we get a murder? In a pretty bad place here. Shock 'em, we're dead. That's it. All right. Here's where we turn. Ooh, bless you. Got a sick kitty. Here's where we turn it around. Cootie monster. Y'all, watch out for the cootie monster. Every opening hand. I think every opening hand. Don't think we're going to need the other one. Crime novelist. We are... They're not sacking artifacts yet, but that could change quickly. In case we draw land next turn, I'm going to go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and disguise go. Yes, there we go. Okay. Good on them. person of interest. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then we can disguise a creature. Probably... I don't know. I kind of want to get rid of one of these crime novelists before they get bigger. Maybe we... Yeah, I want to go ahead and get rid of one of these crime novelists, if possible. Even though that was pretty awkward for our mana base. Yeah, orangutan seems pretty not great to me. It's interesting that, you know, this is a blue-red artifact deck and we haven't seen any artifacts yet, so no turn on for orangutan. 3, 4, 5. Let's maybe go... So we could make Offender a 3/2 and then pump it to make it a 4/3. Let's go like this. Am I gonna mill it? I'm gonna mill it. Well, I guess I can get it back with the blood spatter analysis. So let's get rid of the... Okay. That works for me. Opponent is flooding out pretty hard right now. So let's see. We're gonna mill that when the detective dies, so I'm cool with leaving that for the time being. We'll swing in with the suspected token. Now they'll block, and now I'll mill. Cool. We can just keep bringing that back. Unfortunately, opponent is still flooding out. think we can just start putting the pressure on. We'll leave that there, and then we'll mill it. GG's for opponent. Sorry. Worked out for us. Four and two. Let's keep it rolling. I think 5 wins is the break even, and then get a little extra back for the gems. Ooh. First hand, no Gorehound? We'll certainly keep the pretty good hand. Just need to draw a red source for the shock. Go ahead and attack. Opponent's got some sort of interaction. Counter. Good on them. We should probably... So this is great because Slice can't be countered by Ward, so let's go ahead and attack because they can't block. And then we'll go ahead and X equals 2, kill their disguised creature before it has a chance to flip up. Fairy Snoop. Swamp. Island. We'll just hold up Murder. Doing work with the skeleton. Opponents really don't want to kill the skeleton. They don't want to give you an opportunity to tutor, which is understandable. You just end up getting 6-8 points of damage in, if not more. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the choke point is, at what point they decide to kill it. There we go. Let's see if they have a counter. I almost want to just draw that so that we can play the leech next turn, and I'll hang on to the tutor effect for now. And then if we get, yeah, there we go. I was gonna say if we get a red source, we're in business. Go to combat. We're pretty far ahead at this point. You know, once we draw that red source, we have the ability to go 2 to face. So opponent needs 3 or more artifacts, and they're gonna sack that away to draw a card. Our feeder, or cat feeder. Sure. We'll let Poppy in real quick. I think I can... Yeah, I'll still leave it on top. Good for them. I think we can throw that in the bin. I'll keep that. So let's go to combat. Let's give one of these Gorehounds Death Touch and +1, +0. We're just gonna keep chipping away. That's fine. We still get the triggered ability. Good game. Well, we didn't get the tutor effect on the case, but I think that's the way to do it. You know, just so long as you don't think your opponent has enchantment removal, which is pretty much just, you know, two green cards and a white card. Solve it at your leisure. You know, get the toolbox card that you need for whatever situation you're in. But in that case, we didn't. You know, we were so far ahead that we didn't really need it. Gorehound is back. Nice. Got a 2-drop. Okay. We're gonna punish him for that. So, I think we disguise and chill. So the person of interest cannot block, which means we... It feels bad, but I kind of want to X for 1 the Maverick so that we can flip the Bone Brute. Is that wrong? Maybe not. Maybe that's not right. Can we wait? Let's wait. I just think 1 more mana to get rid of a 2/2 is a little bit better rate. I think we can trade here. Let's go. Boom, boom. No. Yeah, I think we do, because we want to ensure it has the menace. So now, let's maybe go... X equals 2 here, uncounterable. Let me go swing in with those 2. So we'll get the 3 off the Bone Brute. Opponent goes down to 15. Opponent is likely going to want to sacrifice that clue. That's an interesting card. So they create these 3 tokens and then they secretly choose one of them. They then can sacrifice the enchantment to give it 3 +1/+1 counters and Death Touch. That's wild. You have no blocks here. So what I'll do is I'll convenient target the person of interest, and then I'm going to attack, see how they block. I assume they'll just block with the token they want to activate with this enchantment so that they think they can blow us out. Oh, interesting. Okay, they're not going to block. So that's fine. We'll hold up the murder, and whichever token they give the +3/+3 and death touch will murder. Okay, we finally get that. Now I feel comfortable trading the tracker for their tracker. Alright, cool. So we'll go tracker to tracker. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6 otherwise. Yeah. They'll do their thing. And whichever one it is, we'll just murder it. Is it the human? Is it the merfolk? It's the merfolk. Other effects. Okay, they're gonna give that +2/+2. Huh. So death touch is only until end of turn. So I'm just gonna do that. We're gonna take 8, which is not great. So let's go. We'll take 3 on the crackback, but we'll get some lifelink. Poppy really wants to be let out. All right, so we'll see how lifelink plays out. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, good. I don't think we want to suspect anybody because we want to block with both. I'll just toss that out. It's down to the wire. We're gonna double block the 3/3. Yeah. Yeah. You either got something or you don't. Swing lethal, make them chump block. Just hope they don't have anything with haste and suspect. It's not gonna do it. GG's. There we go. Got it. All right, y'all. Last game, 6-2. It's trophy, baby. Gorehound. It's a great curve out. We'll keep it. Guaranteed Drone Smith turn 4. I think we'll disguise. Do not need that. Hard cast. Interesting. When it dies, create a 2/2. Okay. Love to see that. I mean, just keep the pressure on. They could have a fanatical strength, and I don't necessarily want to get too cocky here. Let's turn up. go like that. Okay. Keep that. So ideally, we get a Voya block and murder that. Either the Tulsimir or the Museum Night Watch is gonna probably be the second. Interesting. Okay. So depending on what they play here, we just need to get in for 4 next turn, right? Permanents your opponent's control camp whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures. Yikes. So if they attack with 3, it can't block though, so so that's 10, 12. So we're gonna get, yeah, I'm just not gonna block and I'm gonna kill your lifelinker. Right? And now you're dead. Yeah. I think a misplay on the opponent's part, but works for me. GG's. We made it, y'all. 7-2. Got the trophy. Heck of a deck. Really enjoyed the Gorehound in every single opening hand except I think 1 game. So 2 copies Gorehound. The can't be countered removal is really solid for disguise creatures. The Signpost uncommon was really awesome. Never activated the 5 mana ability. Blood Spatter Analysis was pretty good. Skeleton was good. Unscrupulous Agent, I think only really drew it 1 game and it knocked out opponent's last card in hand. 2 Bone Brutes. It's a beater for sure. 6 mana or 6 power menace. Dronesmith, Leech, yeah, solid deck. Solid deck. So, yeah, that's it for today's draft video. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. A lot more to come in the coming weeks as we continue to cruise through Murders at Karlov Manner and rank up that ladder. Catch you soon.